Good evening. Today is Thursday, January 16th, 2020, and the time is 6:30 p.m. The regular meeting of the City of Greensburg Redevelopment Commission is called to order. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. And if everyone would stand, we'll begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. Darrell, would you conduct a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Dr. Weigel.
Present.
Mr. Adam Munsell. Present. Steve Dorflander.
Present.
And Mr. Chris Stevens. Forgive me, character here.
You don't have my
Jamie Comfort is absent, and Mr. Ken Dornick is absent. Darrell Poling is here.
Thank you. Approval of minutes. We have to approve our December meeting minutes. Are there any corrections to the December minutes? If there are none, they'll stand approved as presented. And then we have our minutes of our special meeting from Tuesday evening. Hopefully we've had a chance to review those. Are there any corrections to those? Hearing none, they stand approved as presented. First item under old business, Mr. May, City Engineer, update of project status for Veterans Way Phase 2, please.
If I could ask your indulgence, we have a guest here this evening that we're not used to seeing, which is our new clerk treasurer, and she, I think, would like to introduce herself and inquire about what kind of financial information you're looking for. So, Brenda.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Wonderful.
I think I know each and every one of you, so it's glad to be here with you. Our office is up and running. We're doing well. Baptism by fire. What type financial records would you like to have presented to you for your meetings each month?
Current 802.
A current 802? Just
For the previous month.
You know,
what previous month or you know, your meetings are close to the 15th, so would you like it from the 15th of one month to 15th of the following month, or do you want?
Or the close of the previous.
Okay, at the close of January, then I would present that to you for the February.
I think
Okay.
that would be fine.
All right, thank you.
And if we could, just have the year's worth.
And then a year-to-date total
Year-to-date.
plus, okay.
Do you have a copy of our fund detail history, how we've been running it, showing our balance? Does she have a copy of this
We gave, okay,
Her office produced that.
one? Okay.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's been a crazy day. Yes, we did produce that for you today.
Yeah, that's good.
That's perfect.
Okay. Close of January and February, and year-to-date total, right?
Yeah, and it shows all that on there, so current balance. And 802, 803 should always just have $1. I don't think 803 is on here, right? I see you just 803.
I don't believe.
There was nothing in 803?
Right,
It's
okay.
Okay.
Just $1, okay, yep.
You'll have money for a day
Right.
next week or this week.
Yeah.
Also,
As long as that stays clear.
also the State Board of Accounts is demanding that we change a lot of fund numbers. So we're praying that what you're used to seeing isn't part of that mandatory change.
Okay.
But if that happens and your numbers are a part of that, we will, like 802, if it becomes 1,020, then we would do that side by side for a while until you're used to the new number. Would that be all right? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming, Brenda.
Okay. Veterans Way Phase 2 project update. With your signing, approving the minutes of your meeting on Tuesday. We will approach the bank tomorrow about making a draw on the bond, and we will have that hopefully squared away sometime early next week. Other than, I believe we're waiting on the court order before we can actually deposit the money with the court. So we will have a check as soon as possible, and then when legal counsel tells us what to do with that, we will deliver it to the court and have the appropriation order. We'll be able to move that part forward. This project has laid around for about a year, and so our consultant has to do some updating of the plans, make some modifications per the settlement agreement to the one driveway, and they are asking for a supplement to their design agreement. I don't have the number with me, but it was less than $15,000. You all have not signed those agreements. They have been signed by the Board of Works, but if you would approve the payment of up to $15,000 for the supplemental design agreement, then we can approach the Board of Works in their next regularly scheduled meeting and ask them to sign the amendment to the contract.
I'd entertain a motion to approve that payment of $15,000.
So moved.
Thank you, Adam. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Daryl. Any discussion about that? Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. So the other item is schedule. We have every intent to have the money deposited with the courts before the end of this month per the agreement. We will, once we have the court order, we will have acquired all of the rights of way needed for the project, and our consultant can prepare the necessary right-of-way certification, do what work they have to redo or to do to finish up. We should be able to comfortably make the ready for contract date for the July letting. So I'm continuing to operate on the assumption that we will be at letting in July, and with a July letting, we should expect actual construction to commence somewhere around the 1st of September. Get started on the project this fall, and then I think likely through next summer, 21, by the fall of 21, we should see it being completed. And at that time, those of us that may still happen to be around should be excited to have some kind of a ribbon cutting ceremony for a really great project. I think it's something the city should be really, really proud. You all should be proud to work through this process. It's a little arduous, and you just have to stay after it, and you have.
Thanks to your diligence. Any questions about the Veterans Way? While you're there, how about update of planning services for project?
Yes, to refresh those that may not have been around, it was December, you all decided to invite, well, actually you selected a consultant to work on planning services for the Redevelopment Commission. We had a committee of the commission to start that. We had a meeting with the consultant, and we got some good discussion about some things and said we kind of need to wait for the new year and figure out how to proceed. We have lost one of the committee members, so I think likely the first thing that you would want to do is reconfigure and then reconvene the committee. You're kind of limited, I guess, to no more than 2 commission members in order to avoid having a quorum. And David, I'm highly confident you want to continue to serve.
I'd be glad to.
Adam, would you be interested in serving?
Okay.
I will attempt to get that group back together quickly so that we can move this forward. One of the reasons it's important to move this forward is, well, there's a couple things going on. One of them is further down our list here. The State Board of Health has the Department of Health has the money for a pedestrian bicycle plan. I'm going to go ahead and mix that right in the middle of this, if that's okay.
Sure.
I would ask you to think about and consider, if we are fortunate enough to receive that grant. I don't know what, if any, consultant selection requirements they have, but assuming they're not elaborate, I think you could probably put that planning activity into the planning activity for the Redevelopment Commission as a whole, simply make that a component in that, and they could help prepare that plan then. So that's something to think about. We're not to that point yet. The other thing is there's indications that the Indiana Department of Natural Resources Next Level Trails will be coming out with another round of funding. And as we recall from the last time we looked at this and talked about it, they want some amount of work done. I'm sure it's competitive money, and so they can ask for a little better input. Point being that we were talking about having our planning consultant help do some of the preliminary work, and so we need to get that scope of services defined and a fee and an agreement underway. Ideally, we could maybe get the consultant to appear before you in next month's meeting with the agreement, and then they can get busy doing their work so we can position ourselves well for trying to get an opportunity to get some money through the Next Level Trails program. So I don't have anything more than that, but if we could meet, David, I think you often like Mondays.
Mondays are great.
Okay, Adam,
And what time?
somewhere between
8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
I'd say closer to 5 and 8. Monday mornings are ruled out.
Sure.
Monday afternoon.
How late is too late for you, David?
Not starting after 4:30.
4:30, okay, Adam, can that work? I will reach out and say, Monday, Monday this week is a holiday. Okay. Okay,
So,
Yeah, that's fine.
so what was the date again, please?
Monday, January 27th.
27th at 4:30? I will try and get that set up, and one of the things that we likely want to talk about, this may be a kind of grocery list kind of a thing with the consultant for services. We've talked a little before about the fact that the Redevelopment Commission right now, revenue stream sunsets in 2036. Is it prudent to look at new areas?
I think that's always a really good idea. I think we'd want to take direction of the mayor on that. But yeah.
The mayor and I have had a little conversation about this, and I'm hopeful that the mayor will be happy to sit in on our scoping meeting. So we want to think about that, and then the project list also, I think, is in this planning process that probably needs to be revisited and reinvestigated. So I think those are a couple things that would likely be included. We've talked about the State Board of Health. We have no word back from them that I'm aware of. Again, Brian was very gracious to ramrod that application. I haven't talked to him for a little bit about that, but continue to be hopeful, but we don't have an answer. So.
Okay.
And we've talked a little about the bicycle and pedestrian master plan. That is the Department of Health thing. So.
Okay.
And then finally on my list, if I'm not leaping ahead too fast, is the application we put in for the Michigan, North Michigan Avenue project. We did meet with NDOT Monday of this week, and fortunately, we got a fairly firm no. And the reason for that is because they said they cannot spend this group of funds on a state highway. However, what we did get out of that meeting was a suggestion that the conversation can be opened between the city and NDOT on how we can get some improvements made in North Michigan. So, not to put words in the mayor's mouth, but I believe he has an interest in pursuing those discussions and seeing what other opportunities might be out there. And I am hopeful that you all see the value of such a project and want to partner in that, at least in the concept of it. And we see where that can lead us and what kind of money would be needed to make that happen. So as more can be learned there, we will keep you up to date.
Sounds good. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you for your report.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ron.
Approval of claims. Looks like we have just one claim. And Tebby Law Office from Chris Tebby for legal services in the sum of $1,540.
I'll move the repair claims.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Darrell. Any discussion? Those in favor of paying the claims signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Excuse me, Dr. White, what was the exact total on that?
$1,540.00.
Thank you.
And with our approval of the minutes, of the December minutes where we approved bond payment, that will be paid in here in the next, within the next week. That looks like we're at the bottom of the agenda. We've concluded everything. Our next meeting will be February 20th at 6:30 p.m. Thank you all for coming. Meeting is adjourned.
I didn't see that. I was talking to